eyeballs are on fire.
Hello.
And welcome to Starfall.
Oh, right.
Oh, we should have dressed up. And by dressed up, I mean not worn my moving clothes because we're moving.
Well, I think I'm just up.
I meant you're in a gown? That's a nice ass gown you have on, girl. Getting turned.
Target official.
RJ. TBH, I kind of forgot what happened in this chapter, so I'm gonna go through it with you. Rhysand is gonna show them Velaris, and they have a whole conversation about Miriam and Drakon, and their love story, and how she was like half human, half fae. Ooh. So like someone else we know from a different universe. Anyway,
right?
She she is like, so she's like a half human, half fae. She's given by the evil mean queen to Drakon, her fiance, as a gift, and then Drakon is like, well, that's like not chill. This is uncouth of you. And he throws Miriam away, and then Miriam runs out to join the army, and she meets Jerian. They fall in love, and then Jerian goes cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Absolutely insane. That's when he gets driven to, like, you know, dismember Cynthia.
Cynthia, I think.
I kept saying Cynthia, and then you guys said it was Clythia. Cynthia. I said Cynthia when I was reading it.
Third thing. Cynthia.
Cynthia would be better. Why didn't she do that? Anyway, so then he dismembers her, and then Miriam's like, wow, that's kind of crazy. And then Drakon shows up because he got like injured, and so she's tending to him because she's a healer, and they fall in love. And then when Jerian dies, they go and live on a little island together, and they live happily ever after with humans and fae, but they're not going to bring them into it again, like the inner circle, because they're like, they fought, they won already, they get a happily ever after, which is like so cutie patootie. So then they have this new plan, and it involves going to the Court of Nightmares to get a ball. Literally. And so that night, Feyre tries to go to the Rainbow, but she's sitting there and she talks herself out of it. Basically, she's like, you know what? This could all go to rubble anyway, so why would I get my hopes up about it? And she leaves. When she comes back to the townhouse, Rhys is there, and he's like, I'm debating asking you to stay and not go to Hewn City with us because I don't want you to see me like that. And she's like, I want to go anyway. And he's like, okay, your choice. Chill. And they have a little talky-talk about Mor's backstory and how Mor's from the Court of Nightmares. She was supposed to marry Eris, who is Lucian's oldest brother. Eris is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, as we know. And Mor was like, I don't want to do that. So she goes on a little trip with Rhysand, and she meets his best friend, Cassian, and she goes, you. And they fuck. And then she loses her virginity, and then she's she's no longer valuable. So they spike a nail right through her uterus and throw her into the woods. And they go, Eris, this is your problem. And he goes, nah.
I forgot. Is she infertile now?
I don't think it says.
Okay.
I don't think she's tried.
Yeah, I don't think she cares.
No, you know. And I think they're fae, so I don't know. Anyway, we know that women aren't treated very well in this universe, so who knows? But Eris goes, nah, that's not you guys. And then Azriel shows up the next day, and he's like, oh. And they go back, and that's Mor's backstory. And then the next day, they're flying through the world to go to the Court of Nightmares, and Feyre and Rhysand are flying together, and Rhys is, like, obviously very upset, so she goes, hey, Mor and Imran told me that the wingspan of Illyrian males is, like, the sum of other parts, and he goes, okay. And then she goes, they also said that Azriel's is the biggest wingspan. And he goes, we're going to break out the tape measure when we get home. Put those rumors aside.
That was funny.
He said, no fake news in this house.
No, but I'm going to believe it.
The tape measure has yet to show.
Everyone very much believes that. I believe it. It is well agreed upon that Azriel is a freak.
I believe it. I think it'd be really funny if, like, everyone's like, yeah, it's Azriel. And then it's, like, not. It's like, wait, no,
that tracks though.
Literally, that's my coffee. Oh, because I had to put away my mushroom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, moving.
Correction, they're moving. I'm staying.
So then, when they're flying, someone shoots them with ash arrows, and it like plucks off of them because shields and shit. And so they look for the people. They can't find it, and then Rhys is like, Cassian, take her to the city, and she's like, no. let me stay, let me look. And he's like, okay. So then they can't find the people. And Moore and Feyre walk into the city, and she's like, wow, this is like Amarantha sucked at her job. Terrible architect, because this is much better than what she had going on. Mm-hmm. And they're all theater kids, because Moore freaking makes them all have a costume change. I have no idea what just fell. Anyway. I thought it was me. So then they're in the throne room, whatever, they're walking around, and Moore makes a little speech, and they do a little entrance, and Cassian and Azriel walk in, and they're covered in armor, and they're in all black, and they're stuck in like thespians. They are actors. I
thought you said like lesbians. I was like, let's go lesbians, let's go.
They could be. In their hearts.
Reese is a true lesbian. Through and through.
In his heart. He truly is. And so they walk in all dramatic, like, and then she can feel the power. And Rhysand walks in, also all dramatic, like, and he's like, he's just walking in, and he goes up to Feyre, and he's like, come with me. And they sit on the throne. And we were talking about this earlier because I have no idea what position they were sitting in. We were trying to figure it out. We'll talk about it later. Yeah. But they're sitting. She's sitting on.
So fucking weird.
So he's sitting on his lap, and they're having like this little conversation where she's just like, they're basically putting on like what is it called?
A show?
A burlesque show. Oh, I was like, what is it called? I was like, the Moulin Rouge. And I was like, what's that? They're doing like a burlesque show up there. And they're just sitting and they're like just drawing everyone's eye so Azriel can go away and steal the ball.
I was gonna be like, we should recreate the scene and show them. And I was like, I can't like lick you. I can't do it.
Why are they licking each other again? Why? Put your hands away. Oh, anyway, so literally they're doing just like everything. They're doing too much up there.
They're doing the most.
Mm-hmm. And so then Azriel goes away, and Kier, I think that's his name. I don't know. Kier. Yeah, he's Amren, Moore's father, and he goes up to talk with them, and he's like, so, how are you doing? Not much has changed since your last visit. And then he like goes on and on and on about all the stuff. They're just literally getting it on up there in their little show. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, I didn't think the rumors were true that you moved High Lords. Ah, crazy. High Lords. And then Rhysand's like, go get her a drink. And then he goes and gets her a drink, and they're literally, it's just weird. They're just up there putting on a show.
Is it Kier? Is it Kier?
I said Kier, so.
I also said Kier. I haven't read the word. I just heard it, so I don't know.
Keir.
Keir. Care. I probably said Kerr.
It's gonna be Kier, because I want it to be. Fair enough. So,
fair enough.
He's, they just distract him for a very, very long time. And then at the end, when Azriel shows back up, and they're like, okay, Feyre, go see Cassian. So she goes to go see Cassian. And then as she's walking away, she hears Kier go, you'll get what's coming to you, whore. And night explodes in the background.
You know how, like, the squid from Finding Nemo would just, that's what I imagine. It is Kier.
Oh, that's really funny. But so then he's like, apologize, and he was just sitting there on the ground, and he's like, apologize. Then he breaks his fucking arm, disintegrates his elbow, and he's like, I'm sorry. And then he's like, when you wake up, you won't see a healer, and he makes him go night night. I don't think anything else happens there, and they leave with the ball.
With the ball,
it's very important.
Oh, it was the whole thing where Feyre was like. Or Rhys was like, it's just your body reacting.
It's just your body reacting. Oh, kill yourself. Anyway.
No, we were talking about it. We're like, Feyre is strangely voyeuristic. She's enjoying this like a lot.
No, she's a freak. She and Azriel, I think they'd be talking.
100%.
Low key, yeah, because I was like, oh, you're enjoying this a little way too much.
Yeah, like Rhys looks like he's having to get through it, but like Feyre's like, I'm here for the show.
Literally,
where are my tits at?
In the next scene, they're like, he like transports them out so he can have like a little conversation with Feyre before going back to the townhouse. And he's like, I'm sorry, and she's like, for what?
She's like, I like this.
What? And then she gets all mad because he was acting very like overprotective of her, but like not in a like overprotective good way, and an overprotective I'm gonna like suppress you way. Like very like
I need to animalistic. Hide you. I need to hide you from
like, and it reminds her of Tamlin.
Possessive.
Yeah. But it's like very, she says it's like male instincts, and so it's like, you know, animal, wild, crazy. Mm-hmm. So she's like, I don't want that. And he's like, stop comparing me to him. And she's like, well, maybe you're just afraid to let people in and then have someone leave. And then he goes, and then he ignores her for 3 days or something like that.
She was rude.
Yeah, she was incredibly rude. But that night, she goes and she waits in the garden. She's like, I want to apologize to him. I feel bad. She just sits there and waits. And he never shows up, which is kind of funny. And she realizes,
avoiding her.
Yeah.
He avoids her for like 3 days.
And then he realizes that she wants him, basically. She's like, I'm lonely. I want him. For whatever it is, we could go together. Chill. And then the next day,
She's
she...
like friends, lovers, whatever
sex,
it is.
whatever. And then the next day, she goes to talk to Amaranth. She brings her blood. And then Amaranth goes, Reese was a ghost when he came back from Amarantha. You brought him back to life. And she's like, oh, I forgot. He thinks he's the villain in my story, but I forgot to tell him. The villain usually locks the maiden in the house.
line.
No, I told him
that
that
line.
line
Out.
too. We were just saying, like, it's a decent line, but Haley was saying that it's just random. It's like at a weird part.
Yeah, she should have said it when she was sulking in the garden. She should have been like, he thinks he's my villain, but he let me out type of thing. It should not have been there. But I like the line enough that it could have been somewhere else, and I wouldn't have been as like, eh. But like her saying it to Amaranth, I'm like, that is a 5,000-year-old woman. She
like,
doesn't
what
want to
the
hear
fuck?
that.
I don't care about your
She don't want to.
mouth.
Yeah, I was gonna say she don't want your
It's like fucking figure it out.
Yeah, your figurative language does not impress me. And then it's Starfall. Cassian picks up Feyre from the townhouse, and Feyre's like wicked disappointed about it, and it's kind of funny. More as
she goes, I see a big, beautiful winged male. Oh, it's Cassie.
literally, and he goes, "Damn, I should have had Nuella and Harry Wynn dressed as me."
Oh my god, the audiobook we were listening to, the narrator when he did Cassian's voice, so funny. He's like, "My dad lost the house at Windpress Way." Like, it was so funny. What? That's how he made Cassian sound.
Like a nerd.
Like Irish?
No, like from the country. He's like, "Damn, I should have had." It was so funny.
like a bumpkin, you know? It was funny.
Cassian?
Yeah.
Out of everyone?
He has
Which other one would be a country bumpkin?
This narrator has very limited voices. It's really funny when he does Reese because he just gets really deep with it. He's like, "Hello, darling."
We were talking about it. Like, I don't imagine Reese with a deep voice. He has like a
voice.
It's a very normal male voice. It's not like that
Yeah.
extremely low thing that they have the audiobooks do.
Yeah.
He's not there. He's just going, like, he's too slay for that. He's too sassy.
We both imagine him like not as like big muscled like dude. We kind of just like a normal kind of guy. Like
he goes to the gym.
almost more like, especially
Every
with the
once in a
way he
while.
acts. I feel like I could very easily think he was gay.
Yeah. He's a lesbian at heart, as we just
lesbian
said.
at heart. Like I just like remember like kind of like toned like guy, but not really like big.
Yeah, like he hits the gym,
He hits the gym,
but he's not.
it's more sleeper build.
Yeah, he's not at the gym 24/7 like Cassian is. But he's still built, but not bad built.
Like
anyway.
I imagine him the shortest of the bad boys.
They're all the same height in my head.
Really?
I haven't thought about that at all.
Really? But if I see them standing together, Reese is like slightly shorter.
I don't know why I keep thinking Nazra was the tallest.
They're all the same height. That's my canon.
I just
They're all
assume-
5'7".
I just assume. I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
They're all 5'7", actually.
5'7" is an evil height.
But it's funny. Is it not? Can you imagine the most powerful High Lord in history makes the mountain
5'7".
crumble, and he walks in and he's like, he's barely taller than me.
It's the same height of Tom Holland. Favors Zendaya.
That'd be funny.
Uh-huh.
We were talking about this before too. Like, Nesta is a tall woman. Because we were talking about who could play her, and I was like, I can do bitch, but I would never, ever be like, Nesta is as short as me. I wouldn't disgrace her like that. That is a 5'10" woman.
Yeah.
Could never be 5'4". Anyway, more Azriel and Cassian dance it up, and then Feyre and Reese go to a private balcony and apologize to each other. They do the thought for a thought game, and they get splattered with spirit juice. And it splatters Feyre first, and she's like, I could have gone blind. And Reese is like cackling at her. He's like, girl, that's crazy. You covered in freckles star juice. And then she's like, really mad at him, and then he gets hit in the face with a star, and then she paints on him, and he's like,
laughing.
yeah, and he's like, smile for me.
It's
And then
also the
she's
first
like,
time
"Then
she's
you dance
painted.
with me."
It's also the first time she's painted.
Yup.
Even if it was just a scribble, can you?
And it was on and it was on his skin.
This is the star.
This feels
This
like
is
a
the star that Feyre drew.
That
Guys, do you like them?
Yeah, I was gonna say like the stars. Do you like them?
Guys, do you like them?
I can't see it. Can't be seen. But yeah.
I'm a beauty guru, guys. Can you see it now?
No.
Yeah, you can see it. Perfect. Trace is like beautiful.
Yeah, smile for me so we can get off that topic. I'm gonna go downstairs and they dance the night away. And then the next day they go to the Illyrian war camp with I wrote his name down. Devlon's camp. And they're like, where are the women? Aren't they training? And Devlon's like, no, they're doing chores. And Cassian's like, they train, then they do chores. Where the fuck are they? And then Devlon's like, fine. They have a whole conversation where they're like, you know, he's like the chillest guy, like with us. He let us participate in the blood, right? Like he's chill. And Feyre's like, he's chill. The fuck. And then they fly through the sky because Reese is like, we're gonna go train, and she's like, okay. So they fly through the sky, and then he talks about the blood right, which is where they dump the Illyrian dudes into the forest for a little bit, and then they run around and hunt each other until they make it to the top of a mountain. That's all it is, and they just kill each other. And Devlon let them participate in it, even though they're, you know, bastard born and freesand. But he separated all three of them and like trashed them in different places, so they had to like fight their way to each other. They did. They won. And then
Low-key, I'd be more interested in the story about them three than anything else.
I was thinking this earlier, like if she does like more books, I would rather see like a novella of like the story she talks about rather than like another character or like something else.
Yeah,
like
something else happening, someone else breaking up, someone getting together.
Yeah, I would
I
much
like,
rather
like-
like a novella of stories.
I like a familial vibe a lot. So I would.
Oh, you're gonna love Court of Frost and Starlight.
Don't scare me like that, because
the chuckles.
I have predictions and I'm so scared of them coming true. I'm not gonna say them here.
Of a
yet.
Court of Frost and Starlight?
I have predictions for the rest of the series.
Oh. I hate a Court of
Things
Frost
that
and
things that I
Starlight.
think are gonna happen.
I hate it so much.
I think I'm right. Continue.
I don't think you're right.
I know. I think I'm right. Continue.
So then they're flying around, they tell the Bloodbright story, and they train, and Feyre asks Rhys the story of how he met Tamlin, how they were friends, and Tamlin used that trust, I couldn't read my U, that trust to slay his family, and then Tamlin slayed Rhysand's dad. So they became High Lords at the same time, like in front of each other. She uses her power together, and she like burns the forest down, and then she like stops it, and she's like, she sees a painting in her mind, and she goes up to Rhysand, and she's like, I want to paint! And that's the end. So let's talk about the plan to show Valeris through the Crystal of Truth.
Yeah. Okay.
The Ball of Truth.
Yeah, mad about it, but whatever.
It's whatever.
It's not up to me.
I'm assuming there's going to be some kind of deception with it. Like, this is one of our cities. Like, this is the memories I have from it.
Mhm.
For
And less of a, this is Valeris. This is where it is on a map.
This is our secret city. No one can
You
find.
know what? It's probably. I feel like it's probably. I hope that they're like, this city fell because of Amarantha. Yeah, Amarantha. My character. Sorry, I have a character with a very similar name. Amarantha, and like over like 500 years ago, it's actually quite sad, but like it was good, and like we tried to keep it a secret, but it failed.
Mm-hmm.
But it's dead now.
I'm hoping it's something like along the deception lines. I cannot remember for the life of me. I forgot there was even a Ball of Truth. So who knows? Ding dong, the rainbow. The rainbow. I think it's so funny that she cannot enter that fucking place. She tries so much. She's like, I'm gonna go. And then
I'm
her
good to
excuse
go.
to get out of it is, well, it might like get destroyed anyway, so I'm just not gonna go. Which is so, because if I knew this beautiful place was gonna get destroyed, I would force
go.
myself.
I would go. Have one happy memory of the place.
Yeah, I would like literally like I would make someone drag me in there if I don't know what's something that I don't like. Alana, what's something I don't like? Gluten. If I had to go, if there was this really cool bake shop and I couldn't eat gluten, and I was like, I really want to see it just like one time. I don't know why I would, but I was like, I really just want to see it, and I like couldn't make myself go in. I'd call Alana up. I'd be like, Alana, drag me in here.
Drag me in.
Drag me in. So I don't know. That one's weird to
Especially
me.
because she was. Oh wait, no, she hasn't said that yet. That's at the end.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say that she wants to paint.
Yeah,
but
no,
I
and
forgot
shit
that was
hasn't
at the end
happened
of
yet.
the
She's
chapter.
like working on it.
No, but she says she's had an idea of like paintings.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
She's just not fully there
She's
yet.
just not fully there yet.
Mhm.
Most of them have to do with race.
I would get dragged in there. I would drag her in there.
Hmm.
Damn the trauma. You're going in.
Everyone would.
Mhm.
You're like,
Mhm. And then the convo in the stairs about Moore. Moore's backstory makes me so upset. It makes me incredibly upset. Because, like, I feel like everyone forgets it, and I feel like everyone forgets that Moore's, like, it's kind of like Elaine. Like, Moore's chill. Like, they do the same thing with Moore that they do with Elaine, where they're just like,
Whatever.
she's there.
Well,
She is kind of just there. I feel like
But she's not
I don't know
terrible.
why
no,
people
she's
keep
not
doing-
terrible. It's just I do think her entire character
Is
her
underdeveloped.
is her backstory.
Yeah, she's very underdeveloped. She's kind of, like, probably a little bit below Asriel in the underdeveloped station.
I don't know why they keep bringing her back to Azrael and Cassian. Like every so often,
It's so weird.
she'll share something, and then Farrah will be like, "And Azrael," and I'm like, "What does that have to do with what she just told
Feyre
you?"
is obsessed.
We were talking
with their
about
sex life.
obsessed.
I'm like,
like
why?
girl cannot drop
Why?
it for 2 seconds.
She just told you the most traumatic backstory, and you mean to tell me she goes, "And what about Azrael? How did he react?" What do you mean? How did he react? You got mad at Rhysand the other day because he got really mad. Oh, what has that happened?
I have no idea.
And then she
what
was
you're talking
she was
about.
also like she's like, have you had any other lovers since then? Is that your business?
She is so weird. Like, I think it's because she
Mhm.
doesn't know how to have friends.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what I assume it is.
She's just like, I can see this. Why aren't we talking about it?
Yeah, that, or she's like thinks herself like a matchmaker,
Mm-hmm.
like Connor.
All right, Connor, love you.
And
No,
so
because it's just the story treats it as normal, and I'm just like, why? This isn't normal. Why
She's
do
a busybody.
I was like, why do you keep bringing up Azrael and Cassian when it comes to more? I was like, they're more than just. She's more than just the relationship she's had with these two guys.
Mhm.
yeah, I think it's just because she doesn't has never had friends. I think she's just not good at it. And B, I think there's something else I forgot. I don't know, what was I saying?
It's just.
Is it dead or is it dying? Okay. What was I saying?
That she doesn't have a lot of friends, which is why.
Oh yeah, I just think Feyre in general is kind of like
Doesn't know what to do with herself.
yeah, she's not a clunky character in the sense that she's not fleshed out, but a clunky character like as in like a person. She's clumsy. She's
Mhm.
clumsy with her words, she's clumsy with like her choices, and she's kind of doesn't understand social cues maybe.
Mhm.
Just because she's hasn't been around a lot of them.
Yeah.
And like her
In a lot of social settings.
yeah, she
Yeah.
like was in the woods for like
she
8
wasn't
years.
really taught what was like improper.
Yeah. So
Or,
I
like rude, assumed rude to talk
Mhm.
about.
so I think it's kind of with that.
Treats it as such.
Hmm?
No one really treats it. As
Yeah,
such.
no one really I mean aside
That,
from
that's
like,
that's my grab because I was like, okay, well, if it's like it was a like a thing of just like a quirk, like it's
Mhm.
just something she has, then people would treat it as such. In the book, they'd be like, well, that's not something you should ask.
Well, I think the only
Or
two
whatever.
I mean,
people
Reese
she-
has told her a few
yeah,
times not
she's-
to, but
when she asked Reese about it, he says don't talk about it. She asked someone else about it, and they said don't talk about it. Cassian is also like another character that I don't think would like put her in her place because he's too nice to do that.
Mhm.
It's like with something so like, you know, like
Trivial.
yeah, it's not that important. It happened 500 years ago to them. They don't really care, but they're like, I don't think she realizes like just how much she's doing it, but like
Mhm.
every time. Okay. Yeah, it's a really strange scene. I don't mind it being there. I think it shows like the culture, I think, surrounding like the Night Court and how much they like what they respect, what they think is weird. Like I think it's important. Does that mean I don't think it's weird? Yeah.
I kind of don't like it at all. It's not bad. Like I was like I enjoyed the scene for what it was. Like as it was happening, I was like, oh,
Strange.
but okay. But then after the fact, I was like, this isn't because the scene was also really weirdly written because it was 1 second she'd be carried away by all what was happening,
Mhm.
and then the next second she's like, he's probably thinking about how he was abused for 50 years, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa! I was like, those two things should not be coexisting side by side.
Well, I think it's because she's what's the word like, anxious.
No,
Mhm.
yeah,
You know?
but it was really weirdly written. Again, I was like, I understand why it was there. It was
Mhm.
just really weird because it felt like you know how I was saying that 5 chapters of romance, 5 chapters of plot.
Mm-hmm.
She does that sometimes when the scene needs to be like described as like tense, but it's also like really like sexy or whatever.
Mhm.
Like when two things, so she'll go sexy, sexy, tense, 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 sexy, 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 tense, 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 and it's like and it goes up and down rather than like continuous. And I just feel like 1 second I'm reading something and I'm like, they're getting into it, and then I'm like, oh, she just mentioned something that I'm like, you should not be thinking about.
Mhm.
Wow, he's
Mhm.
feeling you up like that. Please don't think about that right now. Please don't.
Yeah, I don't know, because when she's like thinking about that, I'm like, oh girl, because I think it's just like it pops into her head, and she's like, oh shit, I'm a terrible person. I'm an awful human being.
And I feel like part of it's
immortal.
I'm pretty sure part of it's over because all this happened over 2 months, and so it's like very
Oh yeah,
quick.
she's like, I'm terrible because I'm with this other guy after I literally
left my fiance.
left my
2 months
fiance,
ago.
yeah, who I proclaimed to love so much that I died for him.
Mhm.
Like, girl,
And so
that's
I
messy.
So I think a lot of this is she's like, oh shit, feelings. Oh Lord, that can't happen. And
Yeah.
so that's why it's kind of like when she realizes, she's like, wait, hold on, why is this happening? And I just takes a step back.
Still don't like the writing style. I do like the realization that it's been 2 months. And then
Mhm.
she's like, it's been 2 months and I've done a complete 180. I do like that. I just didn't like the way the whole scene was written.
I skipped over the Ash era part where they get shot. I don't know who does that. I forgot. So,
Oh, they got
Oh.
shot with the Ash arrow.
Yeah, I remember.
How do Fae even get Ash arrows? Do they have like a mill?
There's like it's like a tree.
Okay, who does it? Is it like a factory of them? Like, do people like pump out Ash arrows for war, like they do with bombs in America, or is it like?
I would assume that like there's like artisans that just do like
Yeah.
arrows and weaponry.
Well, I didn't know if it was like a couple specific
Mhm.
dudes who do it because, like, you know, like it could also hurt them. Like, imagine getting a splinter from an Ash arrow.
Oh yeah, but I mean, it wouldn't kill them. It just stop their swelling and like really hurt. Stop their healing.
Yeah, but like if it
Yeah.
gets stuck in their hand, and then someone accidentally shoots them.
But I mean, I think it's the same thing as where like bullets can kill a person. We sell bullets.
No, yeah, but like I'm talking about making them.
Oh, I see what you're
I
saying.
like.
They use gloves.
No, really, I think they just use gloves.
No, I know, but I'm like saying I wonder if there's like if this is like a normal thing that like Faye can do, like
Mhm.
all of them, or if there's like a little like group of like 15 of them who like do it for everyone, you know? More of a like artisan.
I'm
thing.
sure. I'm sure every court has its own little ash
Their
arrow
little
maker.
guy,
Their
who does it.
makes their arrows for them.
Mm-hmm.
My hands look like this.
You
You can shoot people.
Literally.
Oh my god.
And then when every time Reese is like, I think you should go do this thing, Farrah's like, no, let me walk with you. And I'm like, slay girl? But like,
I think it's very funny how like
It's-
attached at the hip she is to Reese.
literally, she's like
she'll
literally.
hate him and she'll be like bashing him 1 second, then she's like, wait,
I wanna go with you,
It's
I wanna go with you.
they're like siblings. It's like you like
No!
wait,
The
okay.
mortal instrument!
I meant like in the okay. But anyways, you know how like one second you'd be arguing with your sibling,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden you're like, all right, let's go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like that.
They're exactly like that. They're just like so comfortable with each other, but yet so incredibly uncomfortable.
Both of your faces, they're like siblings.
It's because I'm scarred by the mortal instruments.
I read Game of Thrones.
They could be.
Pause.
You don't. Okay,
Pause.
they could be.
Pause.
I don't think so.
Because if an incest plot line does stop, that's where I end it. That's where I close the book and I don't open it.
Let me
again.
tell you, there's like lineages, and they're on an island. Things could happen in
It's
the
a
past.
big island.
If they are siblings,
I think she
that's
would
it.
know if she was part Fae, though.
What if it was from 500 years ago?
If they
Like,
are
you know how everyone who has blue eyes is related to each other?
Mm-hmm.
if
like
they are
that.
siblings, that's where I draw the line. That's where I can't.
They could be cousins.
No,
Like seven
that's where I
removed.
draw the line.
You know?
We're gonna drop the incest plot line. That does not exist because if it does, I'm out.
It's just simply an island. It could happen.
I'm
you don't
done
know.
if it's an incest plot line. That's my boundary line. I draw the line at incest.
The fight they have after the Court of Nightmares.
It was so silly.
So funny.
so silly.
It's so funny because he's like, I'm so sorry about that. And she's like, why?
Why?
I liked it.
And then he's like, "Oh no, I'm a monster. I shouldn't do that." And she's like, "What?"
Honestly, I wish I had Favor's confidence at times.
Mhm.
Her confidence to sit there and like in the Court of Nightmares and be like, I'm burning alive. Like, and Reese can literally hear her and she's going, I'm gonna burn up. And I'm like, Favor, shut up! He can hear you! I wish I had that confidence, or maybe just that like inability to understand the ignorance.
I wouldn't look him in the eye. Like I wouldn't be able to look him in the eye for at least a week. The 3 days that he was gone, I'd be secretly thankful. I'm like, thank God.
Hiding.
Thank God.
Because what do you mean?
Like wrapped up in my bed, like with the comforter, just
like
No fire can be on because I'm like, oh, it's burning.
Can you imagine if that scene had just been her like really uncomfortable, and then he's like, "I'm so sorry, that's my bad," and she's like, "No, it's fine," and she's like real hyper aware of the fact that she enjoyed that, and he's like, "Fuck," and because suddenly he's like, I made her uncomfortable, and so then they have to avoid each other, but then she's like, "Thank God," because I don't want to look at his face for like 4 days. That was really.
I don't know why she wasn't more embarrassed by that, honestly, and I love that for her. Truly and honestly,
Yeah, like,
I love that for her.
good for you, girly. But you can't be mad at him.
Oh yeah, because they have a whole little fight, which I understand
I
why.
get the fight. Like I do get it, but
I understand why, because honestly, I think I'd be a little freaked the fuck out if this man simply. I understand it was not good. He's like, you're a whore, and he's like not a good person. But like the dude that I was just like mingling with decides to like chop his arm off figuratively and literally.
disintegrate his poor elbow.
Literally, how do you what?
the way that he low-key claimed her, like it was a thing. I was like thinking about this the entire time while they were walking in, and I was like, yeah, she's his like pet. That's what people think she is. The way he was just like low-key murdering a guy. He's like, I'm gonna kill you because you said something bad about the girl that I like.
Fair.
I think he'd do it for any of his inner circle.
Yeah, called her a whore.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, but like it was the way that it was described was that she was like a pet. He doesn't have like any actual real emotion for her. What the scene was supposed to represent. So the fact that he showed that he's like, actually, I will get offended if you call her that. Apologize to her, not to me, to her. That was like basically him being like, she's mine. No one touches her.
And I just
You know what they do act like mates. I'm calling that right now. Anyways, continue.
you've called it like 18 times.
yeah.
I know, and it's when it
I'm gonna need you to slow your
and
roll.
when it happens, I'm gonna be so pleased with myself.
Okay.
We're gonna tally it.
Someone tally it at the end of this. At the end of
the next 4 books
Yeah. Oh.
or 5 books.
No. They're gonna become mates, and it's gonna happen at the end of this book. Trust.
Sure.
Someone's gonna put a tally at the end, like the number of times that Fallon tried to convince everyone that they were mates, and then being like the number of times that Haley and Alana tried to gaslight her. I'll do it. Continue. Correction. The number of times Haley tried to gaslight Fallon.
I know. It's like I didn't say shit.
And Alana would go, hey! And then continue. I appreciate the gaslighting. It keeps things surprising.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Fight. Still in the fight. And then they go to Starfall
Oh, that was
after he
cute.
ignores them for 3 days.
That was cute.
And I like Starfall. Starfall is like one of those scenes that like you see everywhere. So there's so much fan art of it.
fan art of it.
But no one can get the dress correct. That's in my brain. Like
Yeah, I was looking up the dress online.
It's-
Dresses were really different.
they like no one can get it right, and I think it's because Sarah did a good job of describing it, but also like left it up to the imagination, which is like fine. But guys, I see ones that are like sleeveless. I see ones that like are weirdly colored. Definitely not like the bluish gray diamond thing she talks about. It's odd. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw one that it was like it was like this, and then it was like gray, and at the very end it's like bluish.
Yeah. So it's weird. But there's a lot of it. But I like Starfall. I think it's cute, and I like how their little scene is described when they like get hit by the star. I think it's hilarious.
Like that.
That's not how it is in my mind, but yeah.
Well, no, that's not it. Who did that?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay,
Mine, I see like a nice little illusion neckline. With mine,
fair enough.
but you know.
I should like get out before I get a spoiler.
That's why I tell you not to look it up. Use your brain.
Well, sometimes
Do some
it's-
imagining.
Sometimes I really just want to get it over with because if all the dresses are too intricate to picture. Sometimes. Also, I'm not really good at picturing dresses.
It's just blue, bluish,
I was
bluish
thinking
gray
gray
with some long
shades.
sleeves.
But I really enjoy the Starfall scene. It's like a very just sweet scene.
And her fainting the star.
Mhm.
Stars. You like
Stars.
Where
them?
was it on?
Where in? His hand.
His hand.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I was
yeah.
I thought it was on the back of his hand.
because I was picturing like I don't want to do that to you guys, but it was like a cute little moment where she's kind of like
Yeah.
it was cute. That would have taken
Stars.
And then
Connection.
they dance together at the end of the night.
They danced
It's
for a very long
slow
time.
dancing.
Mhm.
It's so cute.
And then she waits for 30 minutes to see if he'll show up at a door. And like I said, I wish I had her confidence. I wish.
Well, just,
No, because he's so real. Because I would have been like, what are we?
We danced to very late. What are we?
You know what we are. Oh my God. No, but like, and he gave her a kiss on the cheek.
No.
well, it was very cute. Yeah, I like Stockholm.
Devlon.
Oh, the camp.
Yes.
Mhm.
Devlon. Kind of chill, mostly not. And I love my Cassian. When Reese is like, he's been trying to build a legion of women for 100 years.
Mhm.
That's dedication. And I love him for it. That's 100 Starfalls. That's a
Yeah.
long time.
It's so sad that like if a woman starts training though, they lose like their marriage
Mhm.
opportunities. But I mean, in an Illyrian camp, that might be for the best.
Literally. Low key, yeah.
Yeah.
But also,
Yeah.
if you lose your marriage opportunity, I would assume you'd be thrown on the streets and into the streets. I mean, like in one of those tents Cassian was in the winter.
Fair enough.
What were we talking about? Starfall.
No, Illyrian.
Well, I want to talk about Starfall because you reminded me.
Okay.
I want to go to a Starfall ball. Someone invite me.
I would also like to go. Please send us at
3
least-
tickets.
Yep, three tickets.
Maybe 4. I'd like to bring my friend Shannon because she wants to dress as a surreal.
Mhm.
And my friend Alyssa because she looks like Farah in my brain.
Mm.
Farah is a Latina in my brain.
Sorry. Sorry.
Mhm.
Now we can go back to the Illyrian camp.
Illyrian camp. Women training. Woo!
Oh yeah,
But
Lesser of
also-
Evils, whatever.
But they were
Mhm.
also going through it. So.
Yeah, and then Cassian and his 100-year legion or whatever. And then they do the little flight. They fly on over and they talk about the blood right. The blood right's so funny to me.
Mhm.
Like, it's especially how like Reese just describes it very like not in detail.
Mhm.
Because I like details. Like I want the whole story. It would drive me crazy the amount of times like the court is like they start telling a story and someone goes, "That's a story for another time,"
Mhm.
or
Like, don't tell me.
yeah, or they're like cut it short. This is what you need to know.
Mhm.
I literally, oh my god, I want all the details. Don't do that to me. Don't do that. I want to know, especially if it's something that like involves where I am, like the Miriam
Mhm.
and Draken story. Like she's a human. Like they had a similar situation, I think, or whatever, because they kept saying like she was made or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I also think it's interesting that she didn't really ask. She just
Yeah.
heard about it and was like, okay.
Like I would have asked many questions.
Like,
so
who's this Miriam lady? Can we be best buds?
no, literally. And so then when she when they're flying and it's the blood right thing and she like doesn't ask that many questions, like I would have been talking so much. She's like, they bind your wings. What do they bind your wings with so you don't break them? How do they know? Where like they don't give you weapons. Do you make your own weapons? Where do you sleep? How do you find food? How many days does it last? Do they pull you out halfway through?
Mhm.
Like do you just wait until you die? What happens? Ugh. I would ask so many questions. And I think Reese would actually drop me. Azriel would definitely drop me. But then they get to the little clearing that they're at, and she asks Rhysand, because she has this moment where because she is so guilty about Rhysand and what they did at the Court of Nightmares, she's like, I need to know about the Tamlin thing because she never asked Tamlin.
Mhm.
Again, I would have asked. But she never asked Tamlin. So then she asks, hey, like, how do you know Tamlin? And he goes, if you show me something impressive, I'll tell you. So she makes a butterfly made out of water, which would have scared me half to death. I don't like butterflies. Can you? Can you imagine their eyes made of liquid? Crazy. Anyway, that one SpongeBob episode scarred me for life.
I'm so sorry.
And she makes a water butterfly, and then Reese starts telling her. Someone else tell the story.
Hmm?
The story of Tamlin.
So basically, well, I didn't listen that much to the first part of it.
Okay, so basically, there's besties for the resties because Tamlin was born during the war or like towards the end of it, and Rhysand was like, obviously he commanded allegiance and he's older than him. But at state dinners and stuff, he'd see this Tamlin dude, and he knew that he was going to be High Lord, and he would watch his brothers like gang up on him and how mean they were. So he befriended him, and he was like, "Hey, we're chill. Like, let's be chill." And they would chill together. He would seek him out at
state meetings and stuff and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And then they became like besties. Like they were totally chill.
Mhm.
And then one day he's talking to Tam Tam and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go meet my sister and my mom in the woods." He loves his sister. He loves his mama. He's such like a nice little dude. You stopped
Mhm.
feminism by them, and we obviously know he loves his choices. So obviously they were important.
Mhm.
So then, he's like going to meet them, and then Tamlin tells his dad and his like siblings about it, and so his dad and his siblings run on off into the woods, and they
Let's
slay.
kill them.
They slay.
Like, how did that train of thought happen?
I don't
like,
know.
That's so random because especially they weren't like, I mean, the Night Court was always thought of as evil, but like they weren't specifically had any like enemies or like hated each other at that point. So I'm
Tamlin's
like,
just a bitch. And
So-
I know it was his dad, but still.
yeah, but I'm like, so Tamlin told his dad about where they were, and his first thought was, let's slaughter
This
the-
woman and her
her
daughter.
and
Crazy.
and like anger the High Lord of the Night Court.
Why would you do that?
And they
Why
were-
would you do that?
They had originally planned to kill Reese too, but Reese wasn't there.
Motherfucking bitches.
Like,
I hate him so much.
How would you? Why? What in what world did they think that was going to go well for them?
Mm-mm.
They didn't like get like their allies in order before, and they didn't be like, "Hey, we're gonna like slay these dudes." And
Mhm.
the High Lord of the Night Court is probably going to come after us because it is well known that that is his mate.
Mhm.
So not just his wife, his mate,
Mhm.
his other half, his equal. So we're going to slay her, and we're going to slay his daughter and her daughter, and then maybe his son. Who knows? Like let's get some stuff in order. Let's go into hiding for a little bit. Let's go to the Autumn Court because I don't know. Maybe they're chill. I don't know. But no, they just go home to their manor
Mhm.
where they know where idiots. Then that's why they're dead.
Mhm.
Because then Rhysand and when their heads get knocked off, slayed off, they put them in a box and float them down the river to the nearest Illyrian camp
and then stole their wings.
and pin them on the study wall.
That's crazy.
What a
Insane!
bitch.
In the membrane, and membranous wings, if you will.
Gross.
So then that night, Rhysand and Daddy Rhysand, I guess, I don't know, whatever the fuck his name is.
Mr. Rhysand.
Padre Rhysand.
Yeah.
It's like Daddy Archeron. The Padres.
Is it Archeron or Archeron?
I'm saying
I say
Archeron.
Like Archer? Archeron? That's
I
because she's
thought
an
it was-
archer?
It could be, but it's gonna be Archeron.
Oh, because I'm saying it the river of... No, that isn't that...
Yeah, it's-
Oh, it's Archeron. Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it is.
I know.
No, yeah.
But,
No, it's because I was saying Acheron because of
the river, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
sorry.
from
Yeah.
that, but it's Archeron because she like, changed it for Archer. But yeah, so they like go up to the Spring Court Manor in the middle of the night, and they kill his two sons, and then they kill the High Lord of Spring, and his dad kills Tamlin's mom, which he wasn't supposed to do. Rhysand said, "Don't do that." So he kills Tamlin's mom, and then he goes to kill Tamlin, and so Rhysand stops him, like with magic or something, I don't know, stops him, and then Tamlin kills his dad, and they both become High Lords at once the power transfers over, and they're now like eternal enemies.
And then Rhysand left.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He didn't stay there forever. He didn't like hang out in the Spring Court.
No.
He didn't go get a mimosa.
He could have gloated,
Mhm.
but he
Yeah.
didn't. He just left.
Could have gotten a mimosa. I'm sure they had lovely mimosas in the Spring Court.
Reese was like, "Oh, there was enough death, so I thought we were done."
Mhm.
I bet there's frozen margs in the Winter Court. Or maybe hot cider.
Maybe like a hot cider.
No, that's more Autumn Court. Frozen margs in the winter.
Hot cocoa,
Mm-mm.
but like spiked hot cocoa.
Margs.
Eggnog.
And then in the Summer Court,
Margaritas.
no. They got sangria.
Oh.
They got some iced sangria out there.
They do.
White and red.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have this really odd fucking scene. And not a really odd scene. There were worse scenes where I'm like, "Oh, what the fuck?" But yeah.
Oh yeah, the one where she's like, why didn't you tell me? And Reese is like, I wanted to make sure that you weren't going to like think that I was swaying you to my side with my tragic backstory because
Mhm.
I would have been swayed. I would have been like a fucking leaf in the breeze. I swayed, but nope. So he
I
did that.
kind of wonder what Tamlin's side of the story would be. Like, how would he tell it? Like, how would he paint himself
Yeah,
in the story?
I would like to see that too.
Because, I mean, he tries to paint himself as, like, a good male.
Yeah.
And so, I'm like...
But I feel like he also acknowledges most of the time when he messes up.
He'd
To an
probably
extent.
paint himself as like, well,
As
I
young
was-
and stupid.
Yeah, young
Yeah.
and stupid, and then my father forced my hand.
Mhm. So I feel like
He
'cause I
probably
feel like
pinned the
takes.
blame on his dad.
I feel like he takes enough ownership most of the time for it to be
Mhm.
like, oh, like at first be like, oh, you're taking ownership of it, but then like when you think deeper of it, you're like, oh, you're a little bit passing the blame, but you still did take a little bit of ownership.
You know
It's
how like Worry wasn't fair? He would definitely use that.
Mhm.
That saying of like, well, nothing's fair in war.
Mm, yeah.
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 in Love and Poetry. But
She ate with that line.
yeah, and then Farrah's like, oh, I want to paint.
And he goes, nude would be best.
Alana literally looks at me and she goes, Pippi, like, what are you, a French girl?
Literally.
That's low-key what he was saying.
he's
He's
got them one-liners.
he
and
does.
I'm like,
I
damn.
love Bruce.
Like giggling and kicking my feet over here. But that's all that there is. Tell us what your predictions are, Fallon.
I wasn't allowed to read the next 5 chapters. As in, like, I wasn't allowed to read ahead. Before, I was allowed to read ahead. Now I'm not allowed to read ahead. Which
Yes,
tells
we're
me,
reaching a milestone.
yeah, which means we're reaching a milestone. I have, in the next 5 chapters, trust me, mate reveal. Trust me, it's coming. I know it's coming. They're gonna become mates, or like she's gonna figure it out, or he's gonna figure it out. I think he probably already knows. Actually, I think he's knows
In the
this
next
before.
5 chapters, yep.
In the next 5
Mhm,
chapters,
definitely.
Trust. If not chapter 46, then chapter 50. I'm leaning towards 50, just because Sarah J. Maas likes to do the 5 chapters really slow, 5 chapters really fast. I think this was the slow one. So 5 chapters really fast for the next one. But then, I don't really have predictions for the next 5 chapters. I just have for the rest of the book.
What do you think
Yeah.
for are like the queens and like are they gonna get the book?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, these bitches, I hate them. You know what? They're probably gonna get them the book, but they're also gonna betray them in some way.
I don't remember what they do
I
in
don't-
TBH.
I don't know how, but I have this feeling that like they're working with somebody else. Like they're
I literally have no idea.
no, I know. I'm just saying. I'm like I feel like they're probably gonna work with somebody else. It'd be really fucking twisted if they were working with
Hybrid.
Tamlin
Oh.
and Hybrid. I'm like it'd be really fucking twisted if Tamlin shows up and he's like, actually.
Actually, I do like the humans.
Well, I was actually just saying. Well, yes, that or like just kind of like in a way that comes out self-serving rather than just like sacrifice everybody else for this. While like Reese is saying like, oh, let's save everybody. Like Tamlin's being like, well, everybody, you can like, I'm all for saving my court
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and getting fair back. I feel like the queens are gonna betray them.
I have no idea.
Not like right now. So the next 5 chapters, they'll probably like give them the book.
I forgot they existed.
But,
TBH. They really are.
But did we ever get an explanation as to why one of the queens wasn't there?
Oh, yeah. I think.
She was
No,
sick.
it
I
was
think.
something that something she was sick or something like that.
She
but-
was sick. No way she's sick.
Mhm.
You're telling me you're really like
She's
that's
sick.
it'd be such an odd detail to throw in.
No, I promise you, she's sick.
She's sick.
She's sick.
She's sick, and then well, that's what I'm saying. If she was really sick, then it would be like a plot point.
It is a plot.
Yeah, she's
As
sick.
in, no, as in like a plot point. Like in they'd work with somebody they normally wouldn't work with because they're one of the queens is sick. Does that make sense?
It's not that, like,
It's
just know that she's actually sick. There was a reason.
mm-hmm.
And it's because she's ill.
I'm gonna blame all the queens, and I'm gonna say they're gonna betray it.
They're just like me for real. Night exploded!
Haley is preying on my downfall.
Constantly. Every day. I wake up and I go, I have Alana's downfalls
Alana
today.
falls down the stairs today.
And on that lovely note, see you for next week for the next 5 chapters, 46 through 50, I want to say. Yeah. Love you. Say it back.
Bye-bye.